Hello, I'm Soycat, and welcome back to the video. Today I want to talk about end crystals in Minecraft. These were the more interesting blocks they added with the last update because they are both animated and have the really cool explosion when you do hit them. However, they do also have a rather interesting limit on Minecraft console that a lot of people don't seem to know about because as recently as a few days ago, I have had people suggest that I do, this and this using thousands of them. However, like I said, there's a limit, and I wanted to talk about what that limit is because it's a secret limit that works entirely different to every other one, and I figured why not talk about it with today's video. Hopefully you all do enjoy it. So like the video do because it helps out the channel, and listener, you do like these sorts of videos. Again, you'll learn something about end crystals, their limits, and other stuff like that. But with that said, let's get straight into it, and let's start by explaining the super flat that I have right here. So yeah, this is an obsidian super flat, and the idea behind this one is just so you can place end crystals anywhere and without having them explode the environment. So if you want to try this yourself, make sure you use an obsidian super flat, or you're just got to be willing to go through all the effort of doing it otherwise. Which I just think easiest way to do it is this way instead. So yeah, you want to have an obsidian or a bedrock super flat. Obsidian's nicer because of course you can break it if you really need to, and then you can actually place down end crystals wherever you want in the world. However, there is actually a limitation in space between end crystals where you have to have at least one block in between them. So the most efficient way to have lots of them together, say you wanted to have a grid to show off how many there was in the world, is to be exactly one block in between each one of them and to go on a little grid pattern like this. If you try and avoid the grid pattern, which admittedly is a bit faster, then what happens is every now and then you'll make a mistake and that mistake will carry through. So just bear in mind, so I think I've gone 2 blocks here for instance, just keep in mind that that's what's going to happen if you do this for long enough. Anyway, with that said, so I'm going to be placing a bunch of end crystals here because one of the big misconceptions about end crystals, especially on the console, is that there is no limit to how many in the world you can have. And this is something I figured would be true because I'd never seen anyone tweet at me saying, oh yeah, there's only a limit to how many of these you can have in your world. However, what you'll actually notice is, by the way, I'm deliberately doing this in 5 so you can see exactly how many there is, or I tried to do it deliberately in 5s, as you can see how many there is, because basically what happens is after you reach a certain number, I believe that number is 60 across all platforms. I think I might have just hit it right there actually. Okay, yeah, as you can see, once you hit the particular number, which appears to be in this case 59 for some bizarre reason, then what you're actually going to see happen is you won't be able to place any more. So yeah, the 60th end crystal is just too many. Maybe it's, yeah, I have no idea. 59 is the exact right number. Sometimes it seems more like 60, maybe I miscounted though. And yeah, once you hit that limit, there's no way of the game letting you know. It just won't let you place any more. And this is bizarre because every other limit in the game, like, mob limit, armor stand limit, will say, oh yeah, there's too many of this thing in the world. However, this one does not. And I have a couple of theories as to why this is. Either one, this is an accidental limit that they don't want to have, it's just kind of in there. And 2, is that, for some reason there's a coding mistake or something. Or 3, they just don't expect you to have this many end crystals in a world. If you don't know, you're only ever meant to have 4 in a world to respawn the ender dragon, plus 1 for each pillar, so like another 8 or 10. That's 14 in a world. Why would you ever have 59 besides maybe having like 4 ender dragon fights going at one time? But that doesn't even make any sense. So yeah, I guess that's their logic behind only allowing this many. However, I think this is kind of a shame because if you are in survival and for some reason you really want to make something super pretty out of these, you can't necessarily do that, and that's something that I think is a shame. Anyway, let's talk a little bit more about these because there's a couple of really interesting facts about the end crystal that I really do quite like that I figured I could share while we're at this, because I was going to make this giant explosion using thousands of these, but I was like, oh, that's kind of sad. But I learned some things as I was playing around with them that is kind of interesting. The first one is that their animations don't sync up at all. So, unlike most other blocks where you get the impression they kind of are trying, this one seems like the syncs are based on just, like when you place them, they start an animation then, and their animations aren't all synced up together. However, kind of in contrast to this, if you look at blocks like, the animated flowers in other texture packs, or Prismarine, for instance, no matter when you place down Prismarine, so again, this is a very slightly animated block, as you can probably tell, no matter when you place it down, I'm going to place down 4, just to be entirely sure there, no matter when you place it down, they all kind of shift at the same time to be the same colors. This is because their animation is separate to the block and separate to that sort of thing, but the animation on the end crystal is not. The other thing about the animation on the end crystal is most other entities which have this cool, again, this is a full animated block, like the thing is bouncing up and down. Most of entities that do this will slowly lag your game. However, at least by themselves, these don't seem to do anything, even at 59, so I wonder why they had to cap them. Maybe, if you combine this with everything else, you break stuff, but as far as I can tell, the game is entirely fine no matter how many of these you have, so again, maybe accidental. And third of all, the thing about these that interests me the most is to do with their explosion. So again, their explosion won't actually go through obsidian or anything like that, but if you do remove the blocks below it, then you can have a super powerful explosion, because bear in mind, these are powerful enough to kill like any mob in the game instantly, or any mob, non-boss mob or anything, but the cool thing about that is the fact that they all go off instantly, and this has some pretty practical applications. So there is 59 of these right now, that one's over there, a solid while away. As you can see, I blow this up and instantly they all explode. And in fact, if I had to guess, it looked like those ones went off first, right? Like, they all went off in a seemingly random order, which, and that might seem, again, insignificant, but then you realize you can do interesting stuff like this, such as actually having, like, not only like a detonator thing, but have TNT go off at the exact same time. And also, this means that it's the fastest signal sender in the game. And to kind of prove this, I think it would be a fun little test is if I had some TNT over there, which I needed exploded for some bizarre reason, then all I have to do do is, oh no, okay, well, let's let the TNT go. But all I have to do then is, so I'm going to make sure I get the spacing just right so I don't make a mistake here. All you have to do is place an end crystal every other block, just like this. Again, that does require you having obsidian underneath it, but let's assume that you've got lots of end crystals, and this means that this is the most efficient way, either in creative or just if you're really, really rich in survival, which, I mean, if you have this many resources, then that makes me ask a whole bunch of questions. Then what you can actually do is, of course, you can set off, the chain of events and make it happen way, way faster. So I figured there's a fun little comparison. Actually, let's even make this go all the way round to here. So we'll kind of curve it around the corner here. What we do is we'll activate the button, and then we'll run over to this, and you'll see just how much faster it actually happens. Even though that's TNT, just like that, it's already exploded, whereas the repeaters just hit there now, and now they're just detonating it, and now, how many seconds later is that? It's actually exploded, and that is kind of the power of end crystals. They're like an instant detonation fuse, and admittedly, you could do this 10 times faster with redstone, but it would still be faster to use end crystals. So, because of their instantaneous effect, I don't know if they, look around for all the explosions in range and activate them at the same time, but because of that instantaneous effect, literally at the same moment, I guess you could call it, it means that the end crystal is the fastest way to send any signal in Minecraft, which means if you want to line them up 59 in a row, because that still covers a decent number of blocks, like 100 plus blocks, that means that what you can actually do is you can have something happen on those other side of those 100 blocks at the same time as over here. Again, mostly a creative application, but it's still something pretty cool and worth knowing. So yeah, just like this, you're going to see, I want to do this. Actually, I'll use a, like a snowball or something, so you can really see how it happens at the exact same moment. So let's try and get a good angle on this one. I explode this right here and all the way over there, like the exact same moment. It's pretty nuts stuff. Anyway, with that said, that is the end crystal and some weird limitations on console. Before I leave you though, I want to quickly mention one more thing, which again, I mentioned this, but I want to kind of show it off. You can actually kill any mob instantly with one of these things, which is kind of a cool little use for them. Like if you want to have super TNT, because bear in mind, regular TNT isn't quite enough for this sort of thing, then maybe you should consider doing this. So we'll explode that to make this go off, and it's kind of hard to get it to go off properly. But yeah, then it's something that's it's more powerful TNT. It just has a bunch of conditions. Also, obviously, if you remove the obsidian block below it, then you can make the explosion destroy a lot of stuff down here, which might be your sort of thing. So yeah, there you go. There's some facts about the end crystal in Minecraft. Hope you all enjoyed today's video. Like it if you liked it, because it helps out the channel a lot. Let's know you do like this sort of thing that's like, again, kind of secret. Like this sort of fact is kind of hard to come across, so I'd very much appreciate the like. Share if you really liked it, and subscribe if you're new around here, because I make videos like this one every single day on my channel, and if you subscribe, you'll see them dead on your homepage. Also, you make that big number on my channel go up, and it makes me feel good when that happens. Anyway, with that said, I hope you all enjoyed the video, because I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.